Today I'm going to walk you through the basics of how to clean a window, the traditional method. First things first, you got to open up the window. Move the blinds out of the way. If you have curtains, pull them back. Pull the screen out from inside. This one's nice and easy. You have the pull tabs at the bottom. You kind of push it up to the bottom first. And then we're going to clean the tracks. You can get these handy little brushes from windowcleaner.com. Or you can just simply spray it with some soapy water and use a damp microfiber rag. Either way, in this case I'm going to do both because these tracks were really bad. And in this case, not only the tracks were bad, but the entire frame and everything. So I'm going to give it a nice deep clean. I'm going to get the entire frame. They're paying for my full service package, which includes everything. And it's going to take a little bit extra TLC, but it's going to be worth it in the end, you'll see. When that's all finished, you can close the window and get on with the fun stuff. Today I'm using an 18-inch Moerman handle or T-bar with the scrubber. Both the scrubber and the pad are made by Moerman. And you just want to go from corner to corner. It doesn't matter too much the order, top to bottom or bottom to top. But with this window, it's pretty high, so I went from the bottom up. That way when I climbed up to the ladder, I could squeegee my way from top to bottom. Sometimes, depending on how dirty the frames are, it's helpful to go ahead and wipe those while the glass itself is still wet before you squeegee. Then it leaves you less detailing afterward. Now, there's no rule that says you have to detail the frame at this point, but I like to make sure that I get anything that's sloppy off of that top piece before I wet the bottom window. That way, everything's going to be clean and not drip down. Really, the last thing you need is for a drip of dirty water to go down your clean pane of glass. See right there, I went ahead and wiped the frame first. Now I squeegee. I always want to get to the corners on the top first and work my way down from there. Top corner to bottom corner and then fill in the rest. Almost like you're tracing the colors with markers and then going in towards the middle. Now I'm just going to detail the glass and make sure I mop up any water or dirt that's on the sill, and we're good to go outside. And today I am collecting the screens and I will clean them last. A lot of guys like to clean them right here or have somebody else clean them while they're cleaning the windows, so that way when you're finished cleaning the windows, the screens are ready to go and they're going to be dry. At any rate, let's wash these outside windows. Now on the outside, I always like to use a lot extra water, especially on a hot day. I'm in North Texas, and so there's a lot of heat. But right now I'm just using Dawn dish soap with a little bit of a glass, I think it's called Glass Glide, whatever they sell at windowcleaner.com. And there's my almond pad. You're going to want to use either the almond pad scrubber or steel wool. Extra fine quad zero steel wool is what you want. They sell that at Home Depot and Lowe's, and that works just as well, if not better, than the almond pad. This almond pad just is nice and efficient because it doesn't rust out like the steel wool, so you can use it quite a few times before it goes bad. And just so we're clear, you want that abrasive scrubber, either the almond pad or the steel wool, because the glass can be really grimy and really dirty, and just scrubbing it isn't going to cut it. You literally need something stronger to dig in that glass and separate the grime from the glass. And in this case especially, these windows haven't been cleaned in years. If it's a maintenance clean, you usually don't need that. You just scrub it and squeegee and you're good to go. And then if you have paint or other type of debris that's harder to get off there, you might need to bring in a razor blade. But not this time, thankfully for me. Now, as far as the squeegee goes, I like to use the Moerman Liquidator, which is the accelerator channel. It has those beveled ends. It's helpful because it's not metal, it's plastic, so it's going to be gentle against any edges, especially if you have wooden frames on your windows. And then it also wicks the moisture away from the edge, which makes it not quite no detailing, but a lot less detailing. If you use a typical brass squeegee or stainless steel squeegee channel, you'll have oftentimes about a 1/4 inch bead of water on the edge of the glass that you'll have to detail. So when you're using these channels, oftentimes I don't have to detail the top or the edges at all. Every once in a while there's a little bit that I gotta get off of there, and I'll usually have a bead on the bottom, but it's not too difficult. And so as far as detailing goes, I always choose between two types of cloths. I have just the generic microfiber rags that you find at Home Depot, Lowe's, or wherever else. And I just simply use those to mop up dirty water or wipe off dirt, grime. I sometimes will scrub with them a little bit if I need to, but I don't detail the actual glass when it's clean. For that, I use the Zero fish scale towels every single time. They absorb a lot of moisture. They get better with age. The more you wash them, the more absorptive, or the more they can absorb. I don't know the word for that. But they're a godsend, really. I can't find a better detailing rag, in my opinion. You can use just surgical Huck towels, and they work as well. I just don't think they work as well, if you get my drift. So I'm just going to finish detailing the tracks here and make sure the cells are all clean. And once that's done, we can go ahead and get the screens cleaned. I gotta say, one of the most satisfying therapeutic parts of being a window cleaner is this right here. When you can see how dirty and grimy glass was, and then it just transforms right in front of you by your own hands. It's a pretty great feeling, not gonna lie. Okay, so screen cleaning. I usually use a Zero screen cleaner, but those cost a few $100, and if you're getting started, you don't need it. I just use dish soap, again, Dawn dish soap. From what I understand, laundry detergent can actually work even better. It has a little less cling to it once you clean it. But I scrub the frames with lots of soapy water, a little bit of soap, a lot of water, and then I rinse them off real good with just the hose. A little bit of pressure doesn't hurt. And then you tap it. All that dirt gets caught in the water with the soap and then rinsed, and then you tap it and everything's out of the screen. Make sure if you ever hit a screen like that with a rag that you're using a very clean and dry rag. Otherwise, you're going to leave marks in there and you'll have to clean it again. But once it's done, you go ahead and wipe the frames, and I always use the microfiber rags for that, and I'm ready to go. They're going to be dry now after all that, and I can reinstall them from the outside, and we're almost wrapped up. Now, before you leave, don't forget to check your work. There can be drips or drops that come down after you move on, and you just want to make sure if there's anything that does drip down, then you can wipe it clean with a Zero fish scale towel like me, or even use dry steel wool.